Strong Style Americas is back after a short break, and we're making up for it with 4 action-packed shows today. We make a few more signings to the roster as we look to increase the star power heading into Strong Style 30, and can we get a broadcast deal in place ready for the big event? And drop a like on the video if you're excited to see the series back in full swing, and let's see if we can hit 400 likes this time to unlock the next episode. Check out the Patreon where you can play along with the save yourself, and use the banner at the top of TEWDB.com to buy TEW 9 if you haven't already done so. And we're finally back into the save, and it's been just over a week since the last episode, and I've had some things to deal with, but now we're back in full swing, so let's jump into it. We're going to have a few shows in today's episode, but before we get to them, we are going to have some admin to do, as always. We're currently on October the 1st, 2026, and in the last episode we did a bit of a financial review where we covered how much we made in the month prior. However, I didn't realise that we're actually on the 28th of September as the game stopped to put on a show, and I didn't even realise. So yeah, we've actually made slightly more money than what I thought, and we've made just over $1,012. I can't remember what it was on last time. I think it was 800 or something like that. But yeah, we've had a little bit more sponsorship come in since the last episode, and it's taken us up to $3,587. But with that said, let's go through some of the things that I've got written down here then. So the first thing that we need to do is set Michael Dante to turn face. Now this isn't confirmation that he's actually going to turn face, because I'm sort of going back and forth between him aligning with Killer Kelly and Killer Kai, but we sort of want to tease it anyway on screen. Whether the turn actually happens is another story, but it does say here that he's had no recent turns that would affect the change, so we're going to set that in. However, somebody else that we want to turn is Kevin Blackwood, but you'll see here that his last turn wasn't long ago, so a change would probably be affected negatively. Now I don't know why it says this, because he hasn't turned since he first signed with the company like 3 years ago, but I'm guessing it's to do with the amount of shows he's appeared on rather than the time with the company. But since we don't actually enforce heel or face splits anyway in terms of them affecting us negatively in ratings, we're just going to leave it for now. But I would prefer that the heel and face alignment are accurate, as we are still using heels and faces for storyline purposes. It's just we don't want it to affect our ratings when it comes to things like tournaments where they'll inevitably go face to face. So we're going to leave Kevin Blackwood for now, and I'll keep an eye on that going forward. We're also going to be giving some pay rises to certain talent that are unhappy at the minute, and maybe some that are deserving as well. So we're going to take a look at unhappy workers first, and we're going to go to any negative morale. So you'll notice here that Killer Kai is actually upset. She missed a few shows that she wasn't happy about, so we're going to try and give her a new contract and see if that makes her feel any better. So she's currently on $60 per show, and it says here that she expects $90 per show for a new contract. So we're going to maybe offer her $80, so a $20 increase, and maybe that will see her morale go up a little bit. So let's do that. So we're going to go into negotiate, of course, and we're going to offer $80 there and see what she says. So she does want travel expenses paid for. Now, could we persuade her to move closer to us? It looks like there could be a chance, because it seems we're her only employer right now. So if we go into her news, she has walked out on MLW, interestingly, and that was in December last year. I didn't even notice that, but that is pretty big, and we are now her only employer and her sole focus. And she's also split up from her partner, which is a shame, so sorry to hear about that. Anyway, yeah, let's actually speak to her and see if she'll move to our region. And no, she's happy where she is, so that's fine. But we will, of course, cover her travel as we are right now on her current contract, but she does want some merchandise, so we're just going to see where we can get her to agree. And she wants 10%. So $80, 3 years, 10% travel covered, and let's go for that. And her contract is coming to an end anyway in less than a year, so it's worth doing, and hopefully that will give her a morale boost. Now I think it should, because if you look at Killer Kelly here, she had a positive incident of signing a new contract on May 6th, which is of course when she signed with the company, so it does give a small boost in morale, so we're going to hope that works this time. As for Killer Kelly though, who is also slightly irritated at being left off 2 shows recently, I don't think we're going to give her a pay increase just yet. She's only just signed a new contract. She's on $220 per show, but now would expect $400. So yeah, we're going to leave that one for now. As for Josh Cody, I don't know if he's staying or not. Of course, he retired in the last episode after losing to Viano Jr. in his first title defense of his junior heavyweight title. So his reign lasted 14 days with no defenses. But he did finish his story. He got more than what he ever expected. He just wanted to be backstage at the show. He found himself in many roles throughout his time here in the company before being removed from most of them. But now let's actually focus on what he could do for the company going forward. So he's currently without a role, as you can see here, as we've taken his wrestler role away. He's not going to be a road agent because, well, he's not very good at it. Psychology is 48, whilst his experience is 100. But yeah, we need that psychology to be higher, really. He was going to be a road agent for us, especially now that we've got Emi Sakura. He is solid fundamentally as a wrestler. He's a decent colour commentator, actually, as well. So could that maybe be a role that he pursues going forward? I don't know whether that would be high enough for our shows, though, once we do get a broadcast deal. What would he expect if he was to get a new contract? He wants $40. So what I think we're going to do, well, I was going to say offer him a new contract that's a month long and maybe bring him back in the future. But yeah, he is annoyed with us right now, so I'm not sure whether he'd want to re-sign. He's still annoyed about being removed from the inner circle and the booking team. I think we're going to potentially give him some time off. We're going to give him a month off and he'll be paid for every show. Actually, no, I don't want to do that. That would be a lot of money per month that we're just throwing away. So yeah, we're just going to leave him for now, I think, and we'll come back to that in the future. I don't think there's any immediate need for him to be on television still, unless we just make him a personality and to be involved in the Kevin Blackwood Viano storyline. Maybe he could be a manager for Blackwood for a short time. Let's speak to him. Let's see if he wants to do either of those things. So would you like to be an on-screen personality? He does not want to do that. Would you like to be a manager? He does not want to do that. Okay. And now it was colour commentary, wasn't it, that he was good at? Let's just double check. Yeah, it was colour. So would you like to be a colour commentator? He does not want to do that either. So he just wants to be a wrestler. Okay. Right. So speaking of people being unhappy for missing shows, let's take a look at the handbook quickly, because I was looking at this a few days ago off camera, and I've been studying how wrestlers get unhappy for being left off shows. So it's not actually down to them missing one show. It builds up over time of them missing multiple shows. So you'll see here that this can be either they missed multiple shows in a row or because they were left off an important show. Every time they miss a valid show, a hidden counter keeps track of how many times in a row they have missed, and that's increased by 1 every time, resetting to 0 once they are used. So that means that we need to start using talent more regularly, and as we were discussing in the last episode, we need another show for either lower card talent or top talent that haven't been on the show in a while that we just want to keep happy. So that means we're going to set up that event right now. So let's do it. So we're going to add a new event, and we're going to actually call it Strong Style. We've had a couple of suggestions that I like in the comments. There was Underground, but I feel that's too close to Raw Underground, and there was also Proving Ground, which I do actually like. However, we're going to go with one that I came up with, and that is Propaganda. And I feel that sort of fits the tone of the company, sort of the edgy vibe that we've got. But I think Propaganda works nicely because it's sort of an opportunity for talent to show what they can do and use it as their platform to be seen and get their message across. You know, I think it kind of works. So we're going to go with that. And for now, we will just throw on the standard logo, but I will make it a dedicated logo for it going forward. We will make it 1 hour long. We're not going to have any sort of post fix, so there won't be a year or a number or anything like that. We're going to make it every 2 weeks, just like our main show is currently. That might change going forward. We're going to be next scheduled for, let's see. So our next Strong Style show is Wednesday the 14th and then the 28th. So we want to sort of be every week at this point. So we're going to go with Wednesday the 7th, and then that will put us on the 21st as well. So LJ Cleary is the only person that will miss the first taping. Yeah, we're just going to go with that Wednesday. So we're going to have a show every Wednesday. One will be Propaganda, one will be Strong Style, the main show. So we're going to go with Wednesday the 7th of October. So let's chuck that in there. We'll make it active, of course. The intent will just be normal, so we can keep a good attendance. It's just going to be on us to make sure the show is good enough to satisfy that without having to go down to a lesser intent, which the crowd would be happy with a lower rating. But yeah, we're going to try normal for now. It's not going to be anything to do with the tour. Ticket pricing, maybe we could make it for free, but I think we're going to keep it on default for now. It's not a season finale, of course, and I think everything else can just stay the same. And we're going to save that in. So that will be our first show on this episode, and that will mean that we're going to have 3 Propaganda events and 2 Strong Style events before we hit Strong Style 30. And hopefully that means that we can get to 20 popularity in time for Strong Style 30, where we can then sign a television deal with YouTube and independentwrestling.tv. That's the goal anyway. So let's see if we can get a deal in time for that big event. But speaking of size, we do have a little bit more spillover coming in. So if we go to track progress, we went up to 18 last month, and that knocked us up to 7 in the southeast, 7 in the southwest, 7 in the Midwest, and everything else stayed the same in the USA, at least. For Canada, we also gained popularity in British Columbia for the first time. Now we're going up to 1, and also the same in Alberta. So that international growth is going quite well. And for Mexico, everything stayed the same. But we are up to 5 in the top 2 regions there. And for Canada, yeah, 1 is our maximum. So we're actually growing quite well in Mexico here, with this being on the south border. And the main region, I would say, of Mexico is Centro, which we're up to 2 now. So that's quite good as well. In some outside news for the save, WWE have decided that Cody Rhodes is no longer fit to be their figurehead. So this is contract news. So if you want to pause and take a look who else has left WWE since we last checked, feel free. But that's not what we're going to focus on today. We're going to focus on company news, as this came up, as WWE have dropped Cody Rhodes as their figurehead, replacing him with Rhea Ripley. So it seems that Rhea Ripley is now the top wrestler in WWE on this save. You can see there she is, alongside names such as Randy Orton, Gunther, and Ilya Dragunov, very interestingly. Not only do they have a new figurehead, but they also have rised to Titanic size. Now, they started off the save as huge, but 3 years in, they now meet these criteria for the largest size in the game, which means we've got some catching up to do if we want to take them down. And you can see here across the United States, 89 and 88 across the board there. Same with Canada, and I think this is massively helped by the fact that the save started with their Netflix deal in place. Another thing that we need to look at is the emails, and you'll see here that we have the results of our first ever regional battle in the Mid-South, because last month was the first month that we went up to tiny size rather than insignificant. And you'll see here, Strong Style finished first out of 3 in the Mid-South regional battle this month. Because of this, attendances for Strong Style shows in this region will be boosted by 5% for the next month, so this month, which is huge. And this is a big part of why we added Lucha Libre and Laughs, as well as Reality of Wrestling, to the save. So we do have 2 companies to compete with, and we're outdoing a company that is topped by not only Joe Hendry, but Jey Uso, also known as Joshua Fatu. So a huge sign-in for them, but not quite good enough, and not quite Killer Kelly, and not quite Kevin Blackwood. And as for Lucha Libre and Laughs, let's take a quick look. They've actually signed Eddie Kingston, which is pretty good, and he seems to be their top name right now. And now let's take a look at our merchandise, which we're actually in the middle of upgrading. So you can see here that we're at 75% progress now, and every week we're going up by 2.5%. So we are now 10 weeks away from going up to the next size of level 4, which will then make us $2.50 per fan at live shows and $5 per popularity point in a region. And speaking of this, I've now adapted our spreadsheet so we can work out how much we would make under each level of merchandise. So you can see here that level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5, etc., etc. And alongside it, we have the monthly cost of what it will cost to run. So we're currently on level 3, which is no cost per month. However, our next step, which is level 4, would cost us $750 per month. And we also have the calculations on how much we'd make per popularity point, how much per fan. And using this data here, we can work out how much we're going to make per show and the total for the month, depending on how many shows we put on. So we currently have 68 popularity points across the board. So when we add up all of the numbers in the USA, so 18 in the Mid-South, etc., etc., and then Mexico, Canada, when all of that is added up, we've got 68. Our average attendance for last month was 175. So I've put that in there. And then, of course, we're hoping to have 4 shows per month going forward. So this means that at the next level, we will be making $1,340 per month as opposed to $904 at our current level. So that's the per show times 4 plus the monthly revenue we'd make through popularity points. Now if we set this to 3 shows, we would still make more, not as much though. On a per show basis, we're currently making 175-ish per show on merchandise, and we would be making 438. So you can see why it's beneficial to put more shows on financially. You can see here that our most optimal level right now would be level 6, but this doesn't take into account the costs of actually getting to that point. So I would imagine it's going to be a lot more expensive to get from level 4 to level 5, at which point this additional revenue just wouldn't be worth making because we're spending it all on upgrading again, and I think it takes even longer to upgrade as well. So yeah, I think level 4 for now is a good level to be at. That has made me tempted to speed this process up. So if I do go up to normal, we would go up 5% per week. So that would mean we would only take 5 weeks to get to the next level. And at rapid, we'd go up 10%, and that would cost us $250 per week. Whilst I am tempted to knock it up to normal, you'll see here that it costs $100, as I said, versus $35 per week. So it's cheaper to do it conservatively. So rather than it costing us $100 per 5%, it's going to cost us $70 per 5%. So yeah, I think we're just going to play the patient game and just let it tick over the next couple of months. Now let's get to signings for this episode. Now I want to bring in a couple more people for the junior heavyweight division, as we're now down to 5 people in that division after I've taken out Josh Cody. Now someone I am looking at potentially for the future is Ixulua, who is in Mexico. He's a Mexican luchador with a mask, of course, but he's not actually known for his aerial ability. It's actually his technical that is his best skill, and he has 86 in technical wrestling. Charisma is 70, star quality 80, 83 basics, safety is 81. So yeah, you can see he is really, really good. And he seems to have something special where he's just increasing in a ridiculous rate. He's currently in CMLL on a handshake deal, which means we can bring him in, but he would be $210 per show plus $100 for travel. So I'm sort of weighing up whether I think he would be worth it. That would make him, technically, I think, our highest paid wrestler. So if we go here, whilst Emi Sakura is on $300 per show, she's a road agent, of course, but she's not getting her travel paid for. Adrian Butler is $250 per show. He's not getting his travel paid for. Killer Kelly is $220 per show, and again, she's not getting her travel paid for. So yeah, that would easily make Ixulua our highest paid wrestler. But I think at the age of 22, the fact that he's already this good, I think he's going to be an absolute superstar on this save. And I don't know whether to do it just yet. My only worry is, if he's too expensive now, in a year's time, he's going to be even more expensive. So I think, actually, we're going to do it. But first, we need to make sure that he can work in the United States. So hopefully we can persuade him. If not, we're just going to put this one on the back burner. And yeah, he's not actually interested in working in the USA. Okay. What we could technically do is build a relationship with CMLL, get them as trade partners, and then loan him, which would make him active once we use him. So I think what we'll do for now is just get a relationship going with CMLL. I don't believe that they can join our alliance because they're in the Forbidden Door alliance. So it would have to be through talent trading rather than an alliance loan. But we will adopt a friendly attitude towards CMLL, and let's just ask what they say about a trade agreement. I don't think they're going to do it just yet though. Yeah, they've declined as they feel you're too small. So we would have to wait till the next size, which is a little bit of a shame because I would really like to bring that guy in. But for now, it's not possible. So we're just going to have to look at other options. And those other options that I'm thinking about are just bringing in some of the guys that we had in the last episode, or the episode before, I can't quite remember, but from Europe. So if we go to our shortlist, based in actually Europe there, and we brought in Egil Blanc, we brought in Jørn Simmons, we brought in Joseph Fenech Jr., and Lavaniel as well. So these are long-term targets for the save anyway. And again, they're only going to become more expensive. So I'm thinking if we just bring them onto the roster now at a good price and pay their travel, all that's fine, but then only use them maybe once a month as special attractions, maybe every couple of months even, at least we'll have them under a deal. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to bring in at least Egil Blanc, and Joseph Finnick Jr. Don't think we're going to bring in Jurn Simmons or Levaniel though, but we're just going to bulk out the junior heavyweight division just a little bit with Josh Cody's absence. So we're going to offer Egil Blanc $100 per show. We're going to keep everything as it is for now. Okay, he wants travel, of course, and he wants 110. Okay, we can do that. He does want merchandise cut. We're going to do 5%, 10%, and he's happy with that. So we're going to be paying 110 per show and 200 for travel. So like I say, we're going to keep that sporadic, but I do want to see this rematch between the two Frenchmen at Strong Style 30. So we're going to build towards that. And yeah, they are rivals in real life, used to be tag team partners. They've got a built-in history that we can cover. So yeah, we're going to do that. We're going to offer Joseph Finnick Jr. the same, actually. We're going to give him 10%. Let's see what he says. He needs travel, of course, and he wants 120. Okay, that's fine. So we're going to bring them in. We'll get that deal done. And I am tempted to get Levaniel, but I think his price is just a little bit too much for now, especially with travel on top. And Jurn Simmons, I don't think he's needed just yet, although he is only $80. We also want to make a signing for the heavyweight division for a match at Strong Style 30. And yeah, we're going to bring in Luchasaurus, of course, the dinosaur, to feud with somebody he feels that is stealing his gimmick, that being King Rex. Now, we're not going to do a stupid feud where I'm the real dinosaur. No, I'm the real dinosaur. This is going to be reality-based. You've stole my gimmick. You're making money off my back. I'm going to crush you, essentially. So that's what we're going to do. So let's negotiate a contract with Luchasaurus. And we might call him Killswitch. Of course, his AEW gimmick with Christian. But we'll see. He is quite expensive, so he's $230 per show, but he is based in the southwest, so we're not going to be paying travel. But I just think for a short-term option and a feud with King Rex, I think he's going to be a good pickup and hopefully can bring in some good ratings because he is popular. He's got 35 in our region and across the board in the United States. Skill-wise, he's not the best, but I think his popularity should give him a boost. Yeah, he's got 56 for brawling, star quality 73, safety 70, so he is decent, but again, this is more storyline based and popularity based rather than skill based. And yeah, I think it's just a good popular guy for King Rex to topple to help boost his own popularity. So he will hopefully be coming in the next few days before Propaganda. Now, I think that's everything, so let's just get the deals done then. So I'm just going to skip forward until we can sign those contracts. Okay, so we have some emails and decisions to make. So Joseph Finnick Jr. has agreed to a contract, and we've got an option of keeping his last gimmick from his loan. So let's take a look. It got a rating of adequate. Yeah, we'll just apply that for now. There's nothing really interesting there in the emails, so we will just go forward and try and get this Junai Kai contract, Egil Blanc and Luchasaurus deal through. And then we'll track whether that improves Killer Kai's morale. Alright, so we're back. We do have two decisions. Junai Kai and Egil Blanc have agreed their contracts. We can also restore Egil Blanc's gimmick, which got an adequate as well. I guess we'll just apply that and we'll work on improving it over time. Again, no good emails, so we're just going to skip forward. And Luchasaurus is also in the door. And I'm hoping that the signing of Luchasaurus, given his popularity, and I think he's now our most popular wrestler, will help sell tickets. So this is something else I was looking at in regional battles, is the list below shows the company who currently qualify for regional battles and how many star power points their roster would contribute to the battle. So I believe this is basically people that would sell tickets. I think so, anyway. So if we go to ours, Adrian Butler's on there, Danilo and Fibio is on there. So our two referees, we've got Killer Kelly, Nicole Matthews and Kevin Blackwood. Now, I don't think Luchasaurus is on there right now because he hasn't debuted. So maybe this is something we can come back to. But yeah, I do expect him to have an impact on ticket sales. Alright, so we do have confirmation of a few more body type changes on our roster. So MV Young has changed his body type from muscular to ripped, and Shaf has gone from muscular to ripped as well. So we should start noticing some changes in their star quality going forward. But we are now on show day, so let's skip forward and get this card booked in then. And I do already have the card planned out here on my left off screen. You can't quite see it. But I think for this first propaganda show, we're going to run through the whole process of booking it on screen. So, as for giving people the night off, I'll do this off screen because that will be a little bit boring. But one thing to note is we will be using our second best referee for the propaganda shows, that being TEW and Fibio. So he's going to be reffing for this one. And for Road Agency, we're not going to be using Emi Sakura. Instead, we'll be using Hala Wicked, just to save a little bit of money, because Adrian Butler, who's our best referee, costs more than his counterpart by $150, and Emi Sakura is on $300 per show as opposed to Hala Wicked $60. So yeah, but we're not looking to put our match of the year on propaganda anyway, so I don't think it really matters, and it will just give us a little bit of extra money to play with. So with that said, we're going to give Adrian Butler the night off and Emi Sakura the night off, and I'm going to do the wrestlers off screen. So that's all done then, and this is the pool of talent we've got to work with tonight. So let's get that through, and we're also going to use a generic venue once again. As for booking team meeting, we're having big hits there from Hala Wicked once again. We've only generated 102 creative energy. Of course, in the last episode, we gave Hala Wicked the night off, and we did significantly better for creative meetings. But I think for this one, and maybe for propaganda events going forward, we're just going to keep the creative energy in the bank and spend them at the main shows. So we're going to do that. Jim Smallman and Hala Wicked have been getting on particularly well. Baron Black was brought to Wrestler's Court by Nicole Matthews, accused of failing to pick up his share of the tab, and had a small positive impact on Baron Black as well. So he actually has a bad personality type, but maybe that could change going forward with incidents like that. And we're going to address the locker room. And do we have any unhappy people at the show? I don't think we do, other than David Marquez and potentially somebody else. So we're going to try do team bonding, and it only created new tensions in the relationship between TEW and Fibio and Trish Adora. Okay, that's fine. Right, so let's book the show in then on camera. So the main event of this show will actually be a title match between Nicole Matthews and Trish Adora. So this will be a rematch from Strong Style 25, and this will be the third time they're going head to head since the save began. And this will be about 15 minutes is fine, and we're going to make Nicole Matthews retain. It will be Steal the Show, so we're actually going to make this 14 minutes, I think. And we're going to give her a clean win by pinfall. So, yeah, basically, Trish Adora has fell at every time she's trying to win the title. Hopefully for her, that can change going forward. But for now, she's going to be somebody that came close but hasn't been quite able to get over that edge at the very top of the company. And it gives us a nice main event for this first show. And I think the title hasn't been defended in a few weeks at least. So if we go to women's, few defenses, the last time that it was defended was in August. So yeah, we do need to get this belt a title defense, and it will be a rematch of the last title match that happened then. And yeah, 14 minutes seems fine. Next up, we're going to give Baron Black a match, and he will be taking on Eric Hammer, unfortunately for Baron. And this one will be a Eric Hammer win. It's going to be 10 minutes, I think we'll leave it at. We're going to use it to lift the crowd, I think the opening match is going to be a technical masterclass. And yeah, we're going to make it a clean win by submission, given that Eric Hammer is a grappler. So we're going to throw that in as well. We're also going to book LJ Cleary, who isn't on the show actually, so I forgot about that. So that match can happen next time. But it will be Cody Chun. Cody Chun was going to be his opponent, but I think we might just do Hala Wicked instead then, because he's the only other junior heavyweight at the show. But that'll also mean we need to find somebody else to road agent this one. So maybe Michael Dante can. No, he doesn't look like he can. Nicole Matthews, I think, probably could. So we're going to make her the road agent because, of course, Hala Wicked is our only road agent at the show. Now we just go to show all Nicole Matthews. Hopefully that works. We'll see if it does. If not, that's fine. It's only an opening match of our second show anyway. So we're going to make this one 15 minutes. Let's just double check their technical ability. So yeah, Cody has 60. Somebody we've had since the start, but I don't think has had the opportunity that he perhaps wants. And yeah, Hala Wicked there with a 61 for technical. And we're going to give Cody Chun the win tonight. Make it a technical masterclass, as we said. We'll make it an open match, a clean win, and a submission win. Actually, a pinfall win. We don't want two submissions in one night. So let's go with that. And did that not set to technical masterclass? It doesn't look like it did. Okay, there we go. Right, so booking analysis, there's nothing to be worried about. We don't need announcers as always. However, the one thing I'm wondering is whether to do a promo. So I did bring in Killer Kai to the show to do a promo. She would cost $80. Okay. And actually, we didn't check whether she's happy or not. So she actually is now happy after signing a new contract on October the 4th. So that's pretty cool. Maybe we can go through the whole roster and decide on who else to give a new contract. Basically, anyone that's not asking for too much of a pay rise. That might be something that we do later in the episode or in the next episode. We'll see. But yeah, Killer Kai is happy. And I think we're going to give her a promo. Why not? So Killer Kai... Microphone's 36. Maybe we give Michael Dante the promo talking about Killer Kai with Killer Kai stood next to him, because of course they are in storyline, they are still aligned. I think we'll do that. So we're going to go Michael Dante cutting a promo with Killer Kai in a non-speaking appearance, whilst Killer Kelly is off screen. So we're not actually paying her and she's not at the show anyway. And let me just write this in and then I'll read it so you're not hearing my keyboard. So we've gone with Michael Dante stands with Killer Kai in the ring. He declares that after Killer Kelly and Killer Kai's recent draw, as of course there was a double countout I believe, they will need to meet in the ring once again. This time a winner will be crowned and the stipulation will be announced next week. So we're going to go with that 3-minute promo and book it in. And we're just going to call it Dante promo. And we're going to throw it in just before the main event. In fact, no, we're going to put it on second and then change this to regular. I think that'll work better for the flow. So let's do that. And I think we're just going to run it. So let's go for it. So we start off with a 44 rating between Cody Chun and Hala Wicked, with of course Cody Chun picking up the win. Cody got a 43, which is pretty good. And Hala Wicked got a 34. And we got the match to a strong start. So that's good to see. Now let's skip through. So Michael Dante, of course, announcing that the stipulation will be announced next week. Got a 29. So not too bad for a promo, but it did lose heat in the storyline. But that's fine. Let's go forward though, as Eric Hammer has defeated Baron Black by submission in 10 minutes, and this got a 43 as well, so I'm pretty sure the first match got that same rating. 44 there for Eric Hammer and Baron Black with a 40, so good stuff from both men. And in our main event, with great chemistry, Nicole Matthews has retained her Strong Style Women's title. And yeah, this segment rating got a 58, so pretty good stuff actually. Nicole Matthews with a 53, but being outperformed by the challenger this time with a 56 for Trish Adora. And that main event might have carried us to a good rating here, so let's find out. As we have a 52, so actually not too bad at all. As for attendance there, you can see 195 people in the building, so much more than our expected attendance that we had in the spreadsheet earlier of 175. So really good stuff there from the roster, and we've increased our popularity in one region. But was it enough to get us up to 19 as we push towards that 20 before Strong Style 30? We don't know yet, but we will be praising a couple of the losers in tonight's matches. We're going to praise Trish Adora and I think Baron Black, who had the second best performance on the card, or the losers at least. So we're going to compliment him on a good performance as well, and they're both pleased. As for financial report, we actually made a profit on this show, likely helped by the fact that we used the cheaper road agent and the cheaper referee. And yeah, we made $242. I think this is the first show that we've made a profit for on the night as well, which is huge. Of course, this was definitely helped by the attendance as well. Nearly 200 people in the building, giving us $1,568 in ticket sales. For merchandise, we made $176, which is just one more than the spreadsheet predicts. However, that will be going up once we get to level 4, and then we're going to be making some serious money per show once that does kick in, and that kind of does tempt me actually to up our merchandise upgrade to normal, because we've made the money for 2 weeks worth there of an upgrade just on this show on its own. As for popularity recap, we didn't gain any popularity in the Mid-South, but we just need to keep pushing on. Hopefully we can get that broadcast deal done before Strong Style 30. So let's actually see our finances. So far we're actually up to $4,157 in the bank now after that profitable show. I don't think the Strong Style main show is going to be profitable next time around, at least not until get that merchandise level up. I keep getting ever more tempted just to up this to normal, just to get the money in sooner. Yeah, let's do it. Why not? Actually, I'm going to wait till next week. So we're going to wait till we go up to 80% and then do it, because I think we'll save money that way. Also, Strong Style original Toni Storm has torn her quad and will be out for a year, unfortunately, an injury she suffered on AEW Rampage. Right, so we are on the Monday, though. Let's see if that merchandise has gone up to 80, and it has. Okay, so I think it's going to be worth just upping it to normal. Do we even do Rapid? How much is it going to cost? We could get it done in 2 weeks if we do it on Rapid for $250 per week. I reckon, given that we're going to be making about $250 per propaganda show, if we are very careful with the costs, and it could have been even cheaper had we not had that promo, I think we do it. We're going to make like $400 more, and say we set the attendance to 200 per show. Yeah, it's just going to be so much more money than what we're earning now. It's going to almost double our money, actually. So if we go back to the last month and look at merchandise, we made $782 just for that month, whereas we're going to be making $1,590. So yeah, as I say, nearly double. Right, so what we also need to do then is make sure our new signings have got a division set. So Adam Priest, who isn't a new signing, doesn't have a division. He won't be back till February, though, so we're just keeping him out of the mix for now. Eagle Blanc will be, of course, in the junior heavyweight division. Joseph Finette Jr. will also be in there. And Luchasaurus will, of course, be in the heavyweight division. Now, does he have a good gimmick set? So he has the Luchasaurus gimmick, which makes sense. So what is he good at? Let's check his attributes. So he plays badass well, dominant well, gimmicky, cartoonish well, offbeat well. But I think we're going to go with potentially dominant, because he will be coming in as a heel, of course, to feud with King Rex. So yeah, he has a dominant gimmick, so we're going to stick with that. And we're also going to make sure he's in as a heel, which he is. Joseph Finette Jr. is in as a face. He needs to be a heel. And Eagle Blanc is a face, which is perfect. Okay, so that's everything to do with the new signings then. And I think we're just going to skip forward to Strong Style 28. Right, so for tonight, we're going to be giving Danilo and Fibio the night off for the referee. And we're going to give Hallowicked the night off just for the creative energy boost, as for not having him on the team. And that, of course, means we're going to use Emi Sakura as our road agent. And once again, I'll go through and give everybody the night off that needs it. Okay, so I think that's everybody. We will be seeing the debut of Luchasaurus tonight, so I'm looking forward to seeing how he gets on in the ring. He will be in a match as well, so that'll give us a good idea of what we can expect from him. Hopefully, though, he isn't too rusty, as he hasn't wrestled actually since the save began, I believe. Is that right? So it seems he left AEW, did nothing in AEW when he was even there. I think because he was injured, actually. Of course, in real life, he's dealing with pneumonia, and I believe that was in the save, and he was injured for a year. So this will be his return to wrestling, so we're going to have to be patient with him. But hopefully we can get him cooking by the time we get to Strong Style 30. And actually, if I had known that, I probably would have put him on the propaganda show as well. But hopefully we can get him going in time for the big show, where his main match will be. But yeah, we're going to go with that, and we're going to use a generic venue once again. As for the booking team meeting, we've got no Hallowicked, which means we've generated 130 creative energy this time, giving us 193 in the bank. So let's spend some. Let's go with a gimmick idea, and it's likely to succeed for anyone. We're also going to go with a creative finish. This is a big gamble for LJ Cleary. He's actually in a match tonight, but I don't think he's winning, but we'll keep that one in the bank anyway. We're going to go with an angle idea, maybe something for our announcement of the Killer Kelly, Killer Kai stipulation. And it's a near certainty, can be used with anyone. So I think we're going to use that on that promo. And we have 53 points left. So why not go with a character idea? And this is a near certainty and can be applied to Killer Kai. Okay, so we're going to do that as well. Right, so let's go to the incidents then, and LJ Cleary got into a heated argument with a fan outside the arena and had to be restrained. Emi Sakura chose to respond with a stern warning, so of course our new head of talent relations stepping in there on our behalf, and it had a small negative impact upon LJ Cleary. Okay, Hyan and Killer Kelly have been bonding over a shared love of circus skills. Okay, interesting. And that's all for the locker room incidents. Maybe we call out LJ Cleary actually for fighting fans. So let's see if this has a good impact on him. Let's find out. Okay, you call out LJ Cleary and it went badly and soured your relationship with him. Okay. However, he will be in tonight's main event despite being annoyed now at me for calling him out. And we're going to open with Miranda Elise taking on Hyan in singles action in the women's division. Two of our newest heavyweights, Shaf and Brian Brock, will also go one-on-one. Luchasaurus will then debut to take on King Rex before the killer stipulation is announced by Michael Dante. And the main event will see the Junior Heavyweight Championship on the line as Viano Free Jr. takes on LJ Cleary in a title rematch for Cleary there as he looks to win back his title. And basically I'm looking to put on more title matches now, and this is 2 shows in a row headlined by a title match, and yeah, it just makes sense that LJ Cleary gets another shot at his belt, so we're going to run with that. And now let's run with the show and see how we got on. And in a good technical masterclass, Miranda Elise defeated Hyan in 14 minutes 46 by pinfall with a drive-by. This one got a 47 overall, so not too bad. But a big win there for Elise, actually outdoing Hyan with a 44 performance as opposed to Hyan's 41. And yeah, we're just going to get some momentum behind Miranda Elise, long-time Strong Style roster member. And we need to build challenges for Nicole Matthews. And yeah, I think she could be a good option going forward. And before we continue, actually, I'm just going to back out and just apply the character idea that we had to Killer Kai. I forgot all about it. So let's go to creative idea and give her that. And it was a success. And that has helped her morale even more. So yeah, she's a happy bunny right now. And we also have another character idea that I want to apply to somebody. I'm not sure who. Let's take a look. Maybe LJ Cleary, actually, without even looking, because he's currently annoyed. So yeah, I think we're going to go with that. It's a bit of a gamble, though, so it might make things even worse, but let's go for it. And it was a failure. No way. He's going to walk out, isn't he? Okay. Man, it's not been a good night for LJ Cleary's morale. Let's get back into the show, though, as Shaf has defeated Brian Brock in 10 minutes 47 by pinfall with a DD214. And yeah, it was designed to lift the crowd, and it appears to have done just that. Got a segment rating of 46, so another solid match. And Shaf got a 47 and 37 there for Brian Brock. And yeah, Shaf was definitely a standout of the recent Strong Style Roulette. And yeah, he's got himself a win now, I think for the first time since his debut. And next up, we go to the Luchasaurus debut as King Rex stands in the ring as he awaits his opponent. Luchasaurus then makes his way down the ramp with an angry look on his face, and he tells Rex that he hasn't taken too kindly to him stealing his ideas and making money off his back during his absence from wrestling. He declares that today he will unmask Rex to show the world the ugliness that not only does Rex live with inside, but on the outside too. So he's calling him an ugly person inside because he steals people's gimmicks basically and people's ideas and makes money off the back of people that have been out of wrestling because of medical issues. So he has got a legit gripe here, if the claim were to be true, of course. And he wants the mask of King Rex. So we're going to see how that goes in the next match as Luchasaurus defeats King Rex in 12 minutes 21 by pinfall while using the rope for leverage. And I can't believe it, but they don't have chemistry. Literally the perfect feud for King Rex, and they don't have chemistry at all. Okay, right. Luchasaurus got a 22, because of course he's rusty, as we expected. King Rex got a 36, so not great from him either. Definitely not helped by his lack of chemistry. And typically, King Rex has been averaging 42 in-ring performance, so it's not that much less than what it would have been, but this isn't ideal. But I do want to continue with this feud and pay it off anyway, as I think it's going to benefit King Rex's popularity, but it's obviously not going to get the ratings, in the ring at least, that it deserves, I think, but that's a shame. But Michael Dante and Killer Kai then make their way to the ring, but before they get all the way, Killer Kelly attacks Kai as a brawl ensues. Dante continues to the ring regardless to announce that both women will meet in a dog collar match in the main event of Strong Style 28, that's supposed to say 29, to make sure that a winner is named. So they will be tied to each other by chain round the neck to hopefully pay off this feud and find a winner in this one. And I know you're probably expecting a body bag match at some point, and that will likely come in the future, but for now, for the second match of this feud, they will be meeting in dog collar rules. And yeah, this promo was much better than the last one, likely due to the fighting from Killer Kai and Killer Kelly, and it got a 49, and the Hate Reborn storyline has advanced with this segment, and the angle idea that we used was also a success, which definitely helped as well. But let's get into the main event and the title match between Viano Free Jr. and LJ Cleary. The champion, Viano Free Jr., has made his first defense of his Strong Style Junior Heavyweight title after using the ropes for leverage. Once again, the villain is using every trick in the book to make sure he defeats his opponent, and a great match there. 66 performance from Viano Free Jr. as well, 43 from LJ Cleary. And yeah, we had the crowd very hot here at the end, and they've been rewarded with a great match between the two junior heavyweights. And how does that do for overall rating then? As we come in with a 58, so pretty good. And yeah, of course, match of the night was that main event. Let's address the locker room then, as we're going to praise LJ Cleary despite what's happened tonight, but hopefully that will give him a nice morale boost. In fact, we're going to give him a hug, or maybe tell him that they're awesome. Yeah, we're going to tell him that he's awesome. I think that hopefully should give him the biggest boost of morale. We're also going to praise, who else for a good performance? King Rex, I would say, just to keep one of our top guys happy. And yeah, both of them are pleased with that. And we did lose $830 tonight. Obviously a much more expensive show to put on. In terms of attendance, I didn't see it, but we've made roughly the same in ticket sales as we did for the propaganda show. A more expensive night of action, but a good rating nonetheless. And if we check our popularity, have we grown to 19? Please, please, please. And we haven't. No. So we've got 3 shows left until Strong Style 30, or before Strong Style 30 rather. So we've got 2 propaganda shows and Strong Style 29. I think it's going to be tough, but we did gain popularity nonetheless. And I was thinking maybe we go free for the next propaganda show, but I just think it's going to cost us too much money. We're going to miss out on $1.5 grand of ticket sales. We're just going to hope for the best here, and hopefully we can get that deal done in time. Let's just quickly check LJ Cleary's morale once again. Did he get a boost from that talk? No, he didn't. Okay. So what we're going to do then is give him a little bit of time off. I don't think he's in the schedule. Let me just quickly check. So I think because the main feud in the junior heavyweight division right now is Kevin Blackwood and Viano Free Jr., and we also have Eagle Blanc and Joseph Finneck Jr. as well that we're going to start building towards for Strong Style 30. I don't think LJ's really needed right now, so we will give him some time off just to see if we can boost his morale a little bit and stop him walking out on us. And so yeah, we're going to give him a month off of paid time, and that'll be $50 per show extra. So let's do that and see if we can make him happier. And he's still annoyed, but he did get a boost in morale from being given that time off. So hopefully that will cool down soon. However, let's get to the next week to check our merchandise growth. So you can see there we are now 1 week away from upgrading our level in merchandise. So that'll actually happen before the end of the month and after the next show, which will be Strong Style Propaganda. So let's just get to it. So I haven't actually decided fully the card on this one, so we're going to bring everybody in apart from Adrian Butler, of course, and Emi Sakura. Can give the night off to who was on the last show, actually. So we're going to give Viano the night off, King Rex the night off, Luchasaurus the night off, or should we put him in a match just to get him ring ready? No, I think we'll give him the night off, just because he's so expensive and we want to make this a profitable night, make up the money for that merchandise upgrade that we did. We're going to do that. We're also going to give Miranda Elise the night off, Ian the night off, Shaft the night off, Brian Brock the night off, Killer Kai the night off, and Killer Kelly. Of course, they're going to be meeting next week in that dog collar match. And other than that, we're going to work with this roster here and see how we get on. Actually, we're going to give the European lads the night off as well. And yeah, we'll work with that and see what we come up with. And next up, generic venue, of course. We've got a booking team meeting. We're going to keep the energy in the bank. Josh Cody gave the locker room a lift as he unveiled a series of spot-on impressions of some of his colleagues. It's good to see. And we're going to address the locker room and do an open forum, maybe? And Josh Cody, who was annoyed, aired his issues and got a small morale boost, so that's good to see. The same with Danilo and Fibio, David Marquez, and that's about it. Okay, so are those guys now happy? Let's check. So Josh Cody is still annoyed. It was Danilo, wasn't it? He's still annoyed, and David Marquez is irritated, but not quite annoyed. Okay. As I say, let me book this show in, and we'll run it in just a second. Right, so for this one then, we've got Kevin Blackwood opening the show to take on Hala Wicked, who's making his second propaganda appearance, and I think it's going to be useful just to use, as he's already being paid for road agency anyway, and it'll save a little bit of money. So that's probably something we're going to do going forward, and he'll be appearing a lot on this show. However, in this one, instead of Nicole Matthews as the road agent, we've gone with Michael Dante. The reason we could use Nicole Matthews last time was because she was already on the show, so we were already paying her. However, there's nobody quite good enough for road agency that's already on the show this time, so we're going to go with our user character. I don't think it's going to go down well. However, it is only our second show, and we're just trying to make a little bit of money tonight. We're not going to try and get match of the year, as I said earlier in the episode. We're also going to see Kylie Alexa take on Zeta Zhang to get them some reps in, and MV Young, one of the guys that we brought in for the heavyweight division, will take on long-time Strong Style roster member Joshua Bishop. So let's jump into it. And yeah, as you can see there, Michael Dante did affect the rating, but it did still get a 50, and in a technical masterclass that had great wrestling and good heat, Kevin Blackwood defeats Hala Wicked in 15 minutes 02 with a running knee strike. So this just gets him some momentum there as we build towards that Viano free junior match at Strong Style 30. And Kevin Blackwood got an in-ring performance of 62. Hala Wicked got a 34. But as I say, 50 rating to kick off the show is more than good enough despite the lack of road agent there. Now we go to Zeta Zhang defeating Kylie Alexa in 9 minutes 45 by pinfall in a match that lifted the crowd. We got a 35 there for Kylie Alexa, and it looks like we picked the right winner from the two baby faces, with Zeta Zhang picking up a 41 performance with a 39 overall for a solid mid-card match. And can the main event top what we've already done so far? It will need a 50. It's going to be tough, but let's see how we get on. Okay, MV Young defeats Joshua Bishop in 14 minutes 10 as they attempted to steal the show, but only got a 43, and that is still a good rating, but maybe we had the match order slightly off tonight. But MV Young, though, got a 47, and Joshua Bishop got a 37, meaning we picked the right winner again in terms of performer at least. And how did we rate overall? So we got a 44, so still pretty good, and we still increased popularity in one region. But was it enough to take us up to that 19? We will find out in a second. But let's praise a couple of the losers then, as we'll praise Hala Wicked. He's been good so far, and we'll also praise Kylie Alexa. We'll go with that. And for financial reports, we made $545 tonight. So our most profitable single show, I believe, so far. We sold $1,608 worth of tickets. We only spent $560 on workers. Very successful night there. And this actually pays for both weeks of the merchandise upgrade, which will be activated on Monday. And in terms of popularity, we haven't risen once again. Oh my God. Why? It looks like we're not going to get that television deal in time for Strong Style 30 then. Okay, so we have a booking complaint from Joshua Bishop, who's complaining about his momentum. Of course, he's not done much recently in terms of wins. So if we take a look at Joshua Bishop match history this year, if we just go to Strong Style only, he is 0-4. The previous year he was 2-5. And the previous year before that was 2 wins. So yeah, you can see why he's getting a little bit annoyed. And his record overall is 4-9. So I don't know, maybe we can give him a couple of wins on propaganda going forward, but we'll see how it goes. And let's skip forward to Monday to check out our merchandise upgrade. And actually, before we do that, I've just noticed CM Punk is back in wrestling after his hiatus that we discussed in a recent episode. However, of course, he's too expensive for us. It looks like he isn't retired just yet, but I would expect that to happen pretty soon if he doesn't get picked up by WWE again, or maybe, God forbid, AEW, if they were willing to bring him back in, which for business would be a good idea, but I don't think they're going to do that. So here we are then on the Monday, and the merchandise upgrade is complete, so we're not going to be spending any money towards that going forward. At this level, your merchandise operation has some part-time staff and is being run as a legitimate money-making part of the company. You can start to monetize your old events by selling them on DVD and video on demand. The company does not make worker-specific merchandise. Instead, workers are allowed to bring in their own merchandise to sell during intermission, and we've already broken down those numbers, and we're going to be seeing a significant increase on merchandise money. So before we were averaging 175 per show doing free shows, which was making us about $729 at level 3. Now that we're averaging around 200 with 4 shows per month, that makes us $1,590. So I think a well-worthy investment there, and we should start to see us make some huge gains going forward as we start to build up this bank balance. And we're not going to see the full effects this month as we're already pretty much at the end, but throughout next month we can really start to see that pay off. And actually, quickly, speaking of the merchandise upgrade, let's quickly check how much it's going to cost if we were to upgrade going forward. So if we do it conservatively, it's going to be $120 per week just to get 1% of progress. For normal, it's going to cost $250 per week just to get 2%, and for rapid it would cost $600 per week to get 4%. So I don't think that's worth it just yet. So we're at the show then, and I've given all of the relevant people the night off, and once again we're going to use a generic venue. And for the booking team meeting, we've generated 137 creative energy, which takes us to a total of 220. With the Luchasaurus versus King Rex match, we're going to put a creative finish on it when we get round to Strong Style 30. So we're going to hope and pray that we get one that can either go on any match or on a match with one of those winning. And we actually do. That's crazy. Okay, so we get a big gamble for King Rex. Okay, so that will either kill the match even more or hopefully get it up to a decent level. So we'll put that one in our creative ideas. Next up, we're going to actually just go for another creative finish, and it's likely to succeed on anyone, so maybe we'll use that on the King Rex Luchasaurus match rather than the risky one. And once again, another one likely to succeed. So we're actually well stacked up there for Strong Style 30, where we can probably hopefully put them all across the board. And of course we also have the creative energy to spend at Strong Style 30 as well to get even more in the bank. So yeah, that's good. And now let's go to Locker Room Incidents, where Exodus Prime has turned up requesting to be allowed to hang around backstage. Okay, 36 years old, lively personality. He hasn't got any relationships in the company. He's $40, be a junior heavyweight, just about. And he doesn't look great, to be honest, but I don't see why not. We'll let him come in. He doesn't have to work the show, and we'll see how it goes. Several people have remarked that Shaf has been hanging out with King Rex recently and has started to have an influence. Okay. Exodus Prime gave the locker room a lift as he unveiled a series of spot-on impressions of some of his colleagues. So maybe we have another Josh Cody on our hands, who knows? And let's continue on, and we're going to dress the locker room, and we're going to pull a rib. Let's see who needs a bit of a boost in morale. So it seems from there we only have David Marquez unhappy, so we're going to pull a minor rib on him, and it failed to provide any positive or negative effects. That's okay. Right, so I'll book that in then, and we'll join you in just a second. Okay, so that's in the book then, and we've got Kevin Blackwood taking on Cody Chun in the opening matchup, and if Blackwood can win, he will get that shot against Viano at Strong Style 30. Joseph Fenech Jr. will take on Aigle Blanc as the two Frenchmen fly over from Europe to go against each other for the second time. Of course, in the Strong Style Showdown qualification, Joseph defeated Aigle, but Aigle now looks to get his win back. As we set up a potential trilogy there, Ryan Davidson will then defend his heavyweight championship against Luchasaurus, who defeated King Rex just a couple of weeks ago. We'll go to a brawl after the match. You might guess what's going to happen there. And then we go to our main event in a dog collar match. Killer Kelly will take on Killer Kai as they look to finish each other off for good. There's no count out, no escape. They're tied to each other by the neck, by a chain, and something's going to give tonight. So let's see how we get on. And we go to the technical masterclass to kick off this show, as always. And we see Kevin Blackwood defeat Cody Chun in 14 minutes 47 by pinfall with a running knee strike. And during the match, we had Viano Free Jr. show up and accidentally hit Chun, and that helped Blackwood get the win there. And now we'll see Viano versus Blackwood, likely main event night 1 of Strong Style 30. And Blackwood there with a 60 performance once again, which is solid. Cody Chun with a 41, so not too bad from him too. And as I say, 59 overall. Good way to start the show. Now let's continue on then into the Battle of the Frenchmen, as Aigle Blanc has defeated Joseph Fenech Jr. in 12 minutes 45 with a surprise cradle, and they got a 41 overall. And Joseph Fenech Jr. there with a 43, Aigle Blanc with a 37. So yeah, just even in the scores here as they head into a trilogy at Strong Style 30, and it's 1-1 so far. Next up, we go to the heavyweight championship match where Ryan Davidson has managed to defend his championship against Luchasaurus in 12 minutes 22 with a big frog splash. And during the match, we also had King Rex distract Luchasaurus, which gave Davidson the advantage, and Davidson makes defense number 1 of the Strong Style Heavyweight Championship. And tying this feud in with this championship defense gives us a way of defending the title and gives us a way of advancing the King Rex versus Luchasaurus feud without having them fight each other and getting a terrible rating. And I've actually started a storyline with this one, as you can see there, and it started with this segment, and it got a 48 overall, so good match there. And after the match, Luchasaurus and King Rex brawled to the back after Rex cost his rival, and this actually got a good rating of 38 there. So a solid angle as we head into the main event, where in a dog collar match it'll be Killer versus Killer. And it got a 55, which is solid, as Killer Kelly defeats Killer Kai in a dog collar match in 14 minutes 22 after a super kick. And yeah, a good match here with 55, as Killer Kelly was the performer of the match with a 54 and Killer Kai with a 41. So Kelly has finally defeated Kai, but I've got a funny feeling that this won't be the end of this feud just yet, as we will be finishing things off in a body bag match at some point in the future. But for now, Killer Kelly will be diverting her attention to her Strong Style Women's Championship that she never lost after the Amsterdam era, and her match with Nicole Matthews will go down at Strong Style 30. And overall we got a 54 and did increase our popularity in one region yet again, but will it be enough to get that 19? I don't know why we're not going up in popularity, but let's see if we've managed to do it today. Let's address the locker room first though, and we're going to praise Killer Kai for a good performance, and we're also going to praise Luchasaurus for a good performance. And hopefully now that he's had a couple of matches, he will have got rid of that ring rust that he's been dealing with, hopefully just in time for Strong Style 30, and both of them were pleased. In terms of financials, we lost slightly less than we did at the last Strong Style show, losing only $773. And for merchandise there, you can see that we made just over $400, which is more than double what we usually would have brought in, so that's great to see heading into the next month. And for popularity, can we finish off the episode with a size increase? And we do, thank you. Okay, so it seems it's going to take, what is it, 4 shows that it's been since we turned 18 to 19? I think we ended the last episode just as we went up to 18, so that's good, I think. But I would rather only take 2 like it used to, but I'm assuming it's just harder to go up at this level. I don't know. But at this rate anyway, with 4 shows a month, we're going to go up once a month. So by the end of the next episode, hopefully, we will have got that television deal, but I'm almost certain it won't be in time for Strong Style 30 as we had planned. So for last month then, we made a profit of $209, but of course a big part of that was the big spend in increasing our merchandise level. You can see there $763 spent on merchandise increase, and you can see there it was a big increase upon what we spent the previous month. And we're getting closer to $4,000 in the bank, which is great to see. In terms of sponsorships, we actually made slightly less last month for some reason. Maybe there was less days in the month. For show costs, we obviously spent more because we did 4 shows. For merchandise, we made $1,316, and that's without even a full month of being at level 4. If you've enjoyed the episode, make sure you drop a like on this video. If we can hit 300 likes, I'll get the next one out as soon as I physically can. And make sure you subscribe with notifications. Check out all the links in the description. Check out Patreon, all that good stuff. But until next time, Peace.